Good morning. Welcome to JP's Morning Brief for June 10th, 2026. Good morning on a busy news day already, other than just politics, but that's how it is sometimes. Um, I'll get to that in just a second about some of the stuff that's going on in Iran in just a minute. Okay. Um, Welcome to JP's Morning Brief. Please, as we get started, if you are not a follower of the JPA report, as I clear my throat, go over to that little bell beside where it says the JPA report, and click that bell. Scroll down to where it says follow. Click follow. That would be greatly appreciated. Then click that like button, that thumbs up button for a like for the podcast today. And then if you want to get in there and chat, you can also. If you want to leave a tip on the Rumble wallet, that's great too. That'd be greatly appreciated. But thank y'all very much. And here we go. The Armament Shop. Whether you're looking for your first firearm, upgrading your setup, or need expert service, Jason at the Armament Shop is Copper's Cove's premier source for all things shooting. Browse our wide selection for pistols, rifles, and shotguns, backed by top-tier gunsmithing for repairs, along with reloading supplies and professional cleaning to keep your firearm in peak condition. Need a transfer? We make FFL transfers fast, easy, and affordable. Need your CHL? Jason can handle those classes both online and in person. He has over 3 decades of experience. Visit the Armament Shop today at 115A West Avenue D in Coppers Cove, or call or text 254-560-2023, or visit www.armamentshop.com. That's www.armamentshop.com. The Armament Shop, your safety, our priority. Alrighty, thank y'all very much for letting me do that for y'all. Iran update. Oil is down right now. All right. That's after Iran shot down an AH-64, and then Iran also warned, their foreign minister warned that no attacks will be left unanswered. So an AH-64 was attacked and brought down. Now, I was just listening to Fox News. I went on a news blackout to take a break, rest, before the show this morning. I was listening to Before the Noise with Chad Prather, which is a really good podcast. And then I just come into the studio, and I was going to put it on the backdrop here and to get going. And it was on Fox News. Che Yinks was talking. He actually spoke to the president. Yeah, the president of the United States. Even for Democrats, he's the president of the United States, regardless if they like it or not. But he was talking about how he was notified about the attack on the AH-64. So the Apache, the luckiest officers on the face of the earth, because their Apache got hit by a drone and didn't explode. They said the Apache was hit by the drone between the pilot and the co-pilot and didn't explode. It caused an intense fire. They were able to land the Apache in the Persian Gulf and get out, and waited 2 hours to be rescued. Unbelievable. Okay, things you need to know, okay? Usually when you get hit by a drone, you're going to die, right? Usually when you're in a helicopter and it crashes, you're going to die. If you're two officers or warrant officers from the United States Army and you're an Apache and you get hit by a drone, you broke all odds. These guys need to go to Las Vegas and be your best friend because it was a miracle that they survived. Awesome miracle. I am so glad that they survived this. This is a war story of war stories to live to tell to the day they die, because that never happens. If you know anything about the Army, if you're in a chopper and it goes down, chances are you're going to die. These guys survived a drone strike that didn't blow up, and they crashed and with a fire on board in the middle of the ocean, and they lived. I mean, how many? If they had 9 lives, I think they lost 5 of them right there. Unbelievable. Thank you for letting them live, God. Thank you. All right. So the U.S. retaliated for the attack, and they struck at least 20 targets. So usually I don't read anything during the Iran update, but this is about the attack. The U.S. military on Tuesday unleashed strikes against Iran in retaliation for its unjustified downing of American military helicopter and its 2 pilots. U.S. Central Command said Tuesday. President Trump ordered proportional strikes after undermining. President Trump ordered the proportional strikes after determining Iran on Monday shot down a U.S. Apache helicopter in the Strait of Hormuz, leaving a 2-month-old ceasefire hanging by a thread. Trump, however, signaled he wasn't seeking a full-scale war after downplayed the helicopter attack, telling the Wall Street Journal that it wasn't a big deal and the pilots are fine. The military response also was billed as measured, with CENTCOM describing Tuesday's evening's mission as a self-defense strikes. And it says, quote, CENTCOM forces began launching self-defense strikes against Iran at 5 p.m. Eastern at the Commander-in-Chief's direction in response to yesterday's downing of a U.S. Army helicopter, the combatant command said Tuesday. All right. We'll get more into that in a little bit. But the president was today, Trey Yingst was telling Fox News that the president is very close of ordering additional military strikes because Iran is playing him. Okay? And that's coming from me also. They are playing the president of the United States, and some of the president's advisors are playing the game too and not realizing it. The president needs to put his foot down and say, no, you lost, and you're going to agree to this, or else. Like in the movie Iron Eagle, you just lost $200 million in oil. Go watch it. Go watch Iron Eagle, okay? Doug Masters said it toward the end of Iron Eagle. Okay, if you haven't never seen that, that's a good Air Force recruiting movie. All right, let's go. Okay, what else? The U.S. is still issuing visas to Iran's World Cup team. The U.S. Iran's accelerating the execution of activists. Israel, Lebanon, their talks are beyond the point of no return. They are going to have a peace agreement. Trump believes the deal can still happen. We were just reading that it may be on the cusp of not happening. There's been arbitrary missile fire from Iran to multiple sites. No damage, maybe in Bahrain, but that's about all. And they were saying it might not be very serious. All right. That being said, oil is still down at this moment. Brent crude oil was at $91.23 a barrel. West Texas Intermediate was at $87.81 a barrel. And yeah, that's in the 80s, people. And the Dow Jones it closed up 86 to 50,872.11. All right. So that's the complete Iran update. We had primaries yesterday in the United States. We had them in South Carolina and North Dakota. We had them in Nevada, and we had them in Maine, right? So California closed up finally, election day +7, right? So Javier Becerra is going to be first place at 27.9. Steve Hilton, believe it or not, a Republican, made it to the runoff. He is at 25%, and then almost 2.5% behind him was Tim Sawyer. He's at 22.6%. That's with 90.9% reporting. That's the earthquake. That is huge news. That is unbelievable. After Spencer Pratt was excluded from the top two in Los Angeles, I fully suspect, and a lot of people also thought, with Los Angeles being the heaviest Democrat and most populous county in California, that it would shut out Steve Hilton, and it didn't. All right, so moving on. Graham Plattner, Oyster Boy, he won his primary. He beat Governor Janet Mills 72.2 to 19.5. I'm just, for the sake of time, since we're at 6:42, I'm going to drop the points, okay? South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham won 57 to Mark Lynch 28. Pam Evette in South Carolina for governor. She's going to be in a runoff 2 weeks from yesterday, okay, is when their runoff is. She got 29, and Alan Wilson got 26. Nevada governor Joe Lombardo defeated his none-of-the-above opponent. Sounds like Brewster's Millions. I love movies, okay? Don't get me wrong. Joe Lombardo got 91%, and none of the above got 2.6%. You got to love it. In Nevada's Attorney General, Freilich got 60%, and then Tarkmanian got 35%. South Carolina, seat 4, Will Timmons defeated Atchie 65 to 19. Joe Wilson, in South Carolina 2, Joe Wilson beat Redmond 74 to 15. Nevada, congressional seat 1, Kerry Buck won 77 to 11. Nevada, congressional district 2, David Flippo won 45 to 35. Marty O'Donnell from Nevada 3 won 42 to 24. And in North Dakota, Frederickon defeated Balaz 72 to 27. All these races had one thing in common, except for Oyster Boy's race. President Trump endorsed the winners, okay? Except for Oyster Boy. He's a sideliner, okay? All right. So when I get any more updates, I'll let you know on that one. So Steve Hilton will face Javier Becerra on November 3rd for the California gubernatorial runoff, which is election day for everybody else. Republican Steve Hilton advanced on the November general election for California governor after placing second in the state's jungle primary. Hopefully this is the last one they have. The race call comes 1 week after primary election, which saw the former Health and HHS, Javier Becerra placed first. President Trump endorsed Steve Hilton over fellow Republican Chad Bianco. His Democrats fielded several candidates, including Katie Porter and Tom Steyer. Both of them got beat, as we know, right? I was yesterday. They were saying Tom Steyer had spent $558 million in 2 political campaigns and lost them both. And at this time, at press time, which was yesterday evening, still Hilton had 25%, Becerra had 27.9%, and Tom Steyer had 22.6%. All right. This is tremendous news. Besides him getting into to the runoff, because Spencer Pratt got beat, and he, in all essence, Steve Hilton should have got beat also because of how blue LA County is. So either there's some hard feelings about Becerra around California, elsewhere in California, or he just got lucky. All right, it's going to be a knockdown, drag out fight going all the way, and I hope this naturalized U.S. citizen that worked for David Cameron in Great Britain is ready for this fight, because it's going to be a knockdown, drag out. So President Trump endorsed people all over the country, especially South Carolina. Tuesday evening's primary contest saw Trump-aligned candidates finish strong in the Carolinas, while Democrats advance a progressive outsider in Maine. And that'd be Oyster Boy. Relatively few of the major contests saw results that differed significantly from pre-Trump polling, though the outcome of South Carolina gubernatorial campaign suggested that Trump's endorsement played a modest role in the result. The win is a win, guys. Come on. South Carolina was host to a crowded primary for governor. A contest to set off a runoff after no candidate cleared the necessary threshold. Trump endorsed Lieutenant Governor Pamela Evette and finished first, and State Attorney General Alan Wilson finished close on her tail, and then Ralph Norman and then Nancy Mace finished third and fifth, and Ron Reddy finished fourth. Yeah, Nancy Mace finished fifth, not fourth, okay? And then the runoff is 2 weeks from now, all right? We'll cover more of this a little bit, because we are definitely running out of time. The RNC brands Plattner, a Nazi-loving abuser, says Democrats sealed their fate in Maine. I hope so. This comes from Fox News. Republican National Committee Chairman Joe Gruters escalated attacks on Maine Democrat Senate candidate Graham Plattner following his primary victory, accusing him of being a racist, sexist, Nazi-loving domestic abuser who fantasizes about rape and murder, unquote. The social media post from Gruters comes as Plattner's campaign has been riddled with controversy. Just weeks ago, it was revealed that Plattner used Kik, dubbed a preparatory sex app by Gruters, to send sexually explicit images to multiple women shortly after marrying his wife in 2023. Plattner has also faced scrutiny over a tattoo that resembled a Nazi-like linked Totenkopf symbol. I never knew what that was until it was announced he had that thing. So 6:50, we're running out of time. So one thing, like I was saying yesterday, that needs to be talked about was that his status as a 100% disabled veteran, from what they were talking about his financial disclosure, that he gets $4,500 a month in VA benefits, when as a 100% disabled veteran, you only get $4,000 plus $100 for a dependent. But he disclosed that he was receiving $4,500, which means he had not yet attached his wife to his VA disability, but also you get a $500 stipend on your VA if you are unemployable. Okay, he is unemployable. How is he working an oyster boat harvesting oysters for his oyster farming business, in which he only made $5,000 a year? Someone actually needs to actually investigate that seriously. All right. Good news. Good news. The budget is finally fixed for FY 2026, which should have been done by September 30th last year. The House passed a reconciliation funding bill to support ICE and Border Patrol on Tuesday, sending the measure to President Trump's desk. The vote passed by one vote, 214 to 212, after Tim Walberg switched his vote from no to yes. I want to know first, why did he vote no in the first place? The $70 billion package came in the wake of a record-breaking shutdown in the Department of Homeland Security, which ended after Congress passed the DHS funding bill without money for ICE. Republicans later adopted a reconciliation bill, which allowed the president to bypass the Senate's 60-vote threshold. The upper chamber passed the measure 52 to 47, and now ICE is and Homeland Security is funded for 3 years. Chucky Schumer didn't get his way. Now, up in Alaska, Senator Dan Sullivan is running for re-election. Okay, this is one for the ages right here. This is stuff you can't make up. The National Republican Senatorial Committee filed a complaint with the FEC, Federal Elections Commission, on Monday concerning a Republican candidate in Alaska who shares the same name as the incumbent. According to the complaint, Daniel J. Sullivan from Petersburg, Alaska, filed a declaration of candidacy to run as a Republican for the Alaska's Senate seat, currently held by Republican candidate Dan Sullivan. Daniel J. Sullivan has no prior history of registering as a Republican and had previously supported Democrats, including Senator Sullivan's opponent, Democrat Mary Peltola. The complaint alleges that a press release from Daniel J. Sullivan's campaign contained metadata showing it was authored by Amber Lee of Amber Lee Strategies, a consulting firm with an exclusive progressive client roster. Daniel J. Sullivan, the complaint states, you also uses logos and a website that features similar colors, imagery, and fonts as Senator Sullivan. Senator Sullivan told CNN that Democrats are trying to cheat in this election, and the NRSC is asking Alaska officials to remove the competing Sullivan from the ballot. I fully support that measure. Okay, when it smells, it smells. Yeah, it smells. It's a Democrat operation to circumvent the upcoming election in Alaska and then throw the election toward the Democrat who's trying to get elected. Okay, so that's crazy. 6:55. Next. This will probably be the last one I get to this morning, even though there's a whole lot more. Oh, yeah, there's more election stuff. All right. Yeah, it's 6:55. Hold on. Man, I cannot wait. Dan Bongino will be back in about an hour. Okay? He wasn't on the air yesterday. Vince was. So that's what I'm ramping up right now to raid over there to copy. So I'm all prepped. Okay. Dozens of U.S. lawmakers demand privacy reforms as a FISA deadline looms. If you remember, we're on a 45-day extension for FISA, which I totally believe it needs to go away. Congressional leaders are desperate to renew the federal government's authority to conduct mass electronic surveillance before the authority expires, but dozens of lawmakers in both chambers are bucking a long-term extension unless it includes significant reforms. Dozens of Democrats and a significant handful of Republicans are insisting that any reauthorization of FISA Section 702, which expires June 12th, 2 days from now, contain protections for America's Fourth Amendment rights. Specifically, they want to require warrants for searches of Americans' electronic data, which FISA Section 702 allows federal agencies to collect. Republican privacy hawks had already voiced concerns over the issue, but President Trump's recent appointment of Bill Pelute as the new acting director, not the permanent, but the acting director of national intelligence, has united practically all Democrats against a clean FISA 702 extension as well. Democrats particularly object to Pulte's complete lack of intelligence national security expertise, dubbing the former House regulators an unqualified pick. He is just an interim appointment. He's not going to stay there permanently. He's over at the Federal Trade Commission. Give him a break, man. All right. So that's all we got time for right now. So, I got through like 3/4 of it, and that's doing the brief style. All right. So just so you know, we had the 4 C's last night, Copper Cove Conservative Club. What's coming up next is in Killeen next Thursday on the 18th at Area 254, which is the old Kmart shopping center on South 4 Hood Street. It's Pints and Politics in Killeen. It starts at 6 p.m. with Chip Howell. It's going to be in the upper room of the facility. You go in the main doors, you go to the right. Okay, then you go upstairs. Unless you want food, now that's a different story. But yeah, so it's going to be from 6 to 8 at Area 254 in the upper room. Come join them. I'm back. And we'll go there. It's already 6:59. So I will see y'all. I'm going to do turn and burn to get ready for the JPA report. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. I am going to initiate the raid already. Okay, I will see y'all in an hour. Thank y'all very much for tuning in. Don't forget to press like for this episode. Please, please, please. All right, and I'll see you in an hour. Raid is initiated. Raid is confirmed. And the raid is on. 9 seconds. Check y'all later. I'm out.